Well, I think we do have a role. To be honest with you, it wouldn't be my first priority. I mean, I do think some of the first things that I would want to support is the local area homeless shelters, to be honest with, make sure that they're adequately supported. As much as the arts are important, music for our children, I think the arts are very important for our children, really, especially music. And as much as I'd like to support that, I have to admit that, when we have the number of homeless people we have in this community and a need, it is hard to kind of justify some of these programs. And really the cost, some of the people running these programs, to be honest with you, I think we need to have a real look at some of the salaries involved in some of these. And I particularly include the River Park. The salaries for the director of that, and basically I think the River Park cost $700,000 last year. I know it's $541,000. I think their mortgage is that they can't pay, but I think the city also gave them outright $169,000 each year to run the River Park. So it's really more like a $700,000 investment this year into the River Park. And so, I have real concerns about the management if you include that in the arts, and then it's a lot of performing arts done there, so I definitely think it should be as I think about it. But I was just in the Fine Arts Museum yesterday, and it's a nice facility, but again, I think we have to look at the operational cost of these facilities and get these salaries much more in line with what the average salary here in Owensboro is. I really do.
Now, you had mentioned support for homeless shelters. Are you proposing that funding that's currently going for the arts, that some of that be committed for homeless shelters and caring for the homeless?
I'm advocating that we need to make sure I think Bullware right now has 50 beds, advocating that they could use 50 more beds. And the numbers from the Patino shelter, which I understand didn't get any funding at all this year, are just phenomenal. I mean, like 350 people a month or something are turned away from the Patino shelter. I believe that. I wrote that number down. I was talking to the director recently, and I was just amazed at the number of people. I could thumb through here and probably find it. But so, I'm not directly advocating that, but I'm just saying that we've got to get those situations in line before we really talk about six-figure salaries for directors. To be honest, I don't mean to offend anyone, but really, and I don't want to single anybody out, but when you have a six-figure salary to run the River Park, and I really when it definitely that much money's lost as well, because I really consider there's probably about $700,000 lost last year in its operation. And now that I'm sure that's debatable, that number, but I know the mortgage is $541,000. It wasn't made. So that's more my general efforts when we get the Bullware adequately funded, the number of beds they're requesting, and really look at the amount of needs or people that are just about to be homeless in this community. We've got to kind of stop that, and I'm not advocating we do away with the arts in any way, because I think it's really important for our children, but I just overall look at them closely.
And you brought up the River Park Center, and one of the issues that the city's dealing with now is the operation of the building, and there's the proposal that the city take a larger role in maintaining and operating, along with covering the debt. If they cover the debt, that they also take a more active role in operating the building. What are your thoughts about that proposal?
Well, I think there's a committee out there called CORP now. Actually, I was reading through the old agendas today before I came in, and I was reading about that. I try to attend the city commission meetings and follow them, but I was rereading through the agendas, and I read that there's an organization called the CORPS, and it's an acronym. Probably got it here close, but Cultural Organization Revitalization Panel, maybe that's. And I definitely think we should take a stronger role, and that's what I'm kind of saying is we definitely need to look at the salaries. We definitely need to look at what kind of entertainment's being proposed. Something very unpopular, but of course this is probably not going to win me any votes, but probably need to look at Friday After 5, maybe an admission to Friday After 5 or something before we lose $700,000 operating it. I think it's just fiscally responsible as someone that would be on the city commission that would have to be put on the table. There's some things I'd like to see at Friday After 5 too, concerned with, maybe you know, at night, I was going to write an editorial to this effect, and I still hope to readers' rights, that maybe late at night that it's not the greatest place for children to be involved, and there's a lot of alcohol consumption and a lot of very loud music. I think sometimes and it's getting off the track, but
Okay.
basically I do think we need to look at it very closely.